Welcome back to the T-Mobile halftime report. After the first 2 quarters here in Phoenix, Suns leading the Mavericks 60-56. Very intense, very physical game here. And the 4th and final meeting of the season between them in the regular season. We can only hope these 2 teams meet in the playoffs. Hello again, everyone, with Mark Jackson, Mike Breen on hand on April Fool's Day. I didn't tell you I was going to wear gray with red. So
yeah, it doesn't look good.
Meanwhile, the league has announced that if these 2 teams do meet in the playoffs, it'll be a best-of-17 series.
It should be.
Because it's just so entertaining. And again, you look at Phoenix, obviously Steve Nash is the best assist man in the league, but it's contagious.
It really is. It's infectious. When you talk about making plays, all of a sudden, other guys want to do the exact same things, and it makes them a complete basketball team on the offensive end. The extra pass, what a beautiful thing. It's so encouraging as a spot-up shooter, knowing that the ball will work its way around to you. When you make the proper plays, you're not looking for the home run play. Make the play. Of course, Barbosa open all by himself instead of Stoudemire making a play. He trusts that Steve Nash will do exactly that. Good ball movement and then finishing.
Nash right away looked for a shot early and says sometimes he just feels it.
You know, as a guy that's reading the defense, he's saying, hey, you tell me whether you want me to be a scorer or an assist man, and he does both exceptionally well.
Meanwhile, as we said, the Phoenix Suns are the best 3-point shooting team in the league. Well, Dallas is number 2, but they've been number 1 this afternoon, just on fire from outside.
Well, getting good looks and shooting from the perimeter this afternoon has kept them in the ball game, shooting 7 of 8 from 3-point land. Wide open shots. If you're the Phoenix Suns, you have to get a hand in the face. These are high percentage shots off of ball movement and man movement. Stare down shots off the double team of Dirk Nowitzki. Extra pass, just like the Phoenix Suns, and it has given the Mavericks a chance in this ball game.
And you see Howard, who's really improved his 3-point shooting. Terry has been hot lately, but Howard shooting lights out with 18 points to lead the Dallas Mavericks. That's the T-Mobile halftime report. 3rd quarter from Phoenix coming up after this timeout. Impressive shooting stats, Mark Jackson.
Well, very impressive. If you're Avery Johnson and the Dallas Mavericks, the thing that stands out here, you can't come into Phoenix and allow them to shoot 58% from the field. That has to be a concern. Red hot on the perimeter, and you must look to be aggressive offensively, but 24 points in the paint for the Phoenix Suns is entirely too much.
So, Michelle Tafoya, was that a concern for Avery Johnson?
Yeah, well, he was very calm and collected when he came out of the locker room, but Mike, as expected, he talked about defense first. He said, we've had some defensive breakdowns, some breakdowns in our coverages. We need to correct those, but offensively, he wants them to make Phoenix's small guys pay a little bit more, take advantage of some of those matchups where they should be able to score against a smaller lineup, Mike.
You know, he said earlier, Michelle, this week, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks at home, shot 38% and still won, and he said it was one of his favorite wins of the year because I've always envisioned this team to have a bad shooting night and still win because of the defense. The defense not there.
It puts you in a position to win basketball games in spite of you not trusting your offense. The thing that you can be consistent night in and night out is on the defensive end, and Avery Johnson is well aware of that.
Again, Dallas playing without Eric Dampier. Dampier, a defensive presence for them. He's got that shoulder injury. Zagana Diop getting a rare start, and an offensive foul as Nowitzki goes barreling into his buddy. 3 on Nowitzki.
And that goes right in hand with what Michelle was talking about. Dirk Nowitzki has Raja Bell one-on-one. There's no sense in trying to get any closer. Get him to a sweet spot and shoot over him. You allow the help defender to come into the picture, and mama, there goes that man, Steve Nash, with the charge.
And Nash falling to the ground. He's picked up a lot of charges. Mike D'Antoni knows that he's not an all-NBA defender, but says he's always in the right spot.
You would have a problem with a guy that doesn't defend and doesn't compete. Steve Nash battles, he competes, and he gets it done on the defensive end.
Stoudemire, off the dribble, knocks it down. If he starts hitting that on a regular basis, forget it.
You can warm up the bus. If Stoudemire is knocking down that shot, your concern is about him dominating the paint area. But he stretches the defense even more so when he's knocking down that J.
Just over a minute gone by as we open up here the 3rd quarter. Harris blocked by Marion, and he tips it to himself, but then lost it. He had a 24-second violation. Phoenix never was able to gain possession, so the shot clock continued. Great defensive play.
And both times down the floor, the Phoenix Suns doing multiple things. Sean Marion understands the mismatch of having Devin Harris, but he contests the shot, comes up with the loose possession, and forces the the Mavericks into a 24-second violation.
Here's Nash. Diao has the height advantage on Harris. All poked away by Jop, but a foul. So Sagana Jop will pick up his third. Stackhouse quickly comes in. Harris taken out after only 90 seconds. I think Avery Johnson not happy with his defense.
So not only defensively, but you need to score against this Phoenix Suns defense also. So he puts in Jerry Stackhouse, bigger offensive guy, and puts him in for defensive purposes also.
So Terry is now on Nash. By the way, Diao starting the second half. Barbosa coming off the bench. Sean Marion, that push shot and goes. Terry right back. Stackhouse, nobody near him. Then he comes short. Here comes Marion. The Mavs get back. Nash, Stoudemire again. This time too strong. Diao tips it out beautifully. And a reset.
A really good job of resetting, having Josh Howard defend Amari Stoudemire, get the ball outside and get good offense.
Here comes Terry. Nowitzki did a nice job defending that time. Nowitzki way off the mark. Crowd delighting in any time Nowitzki misses.
You're playing against a team that's not known as a great defensive team. They can pick you apart offensively. The delivery once again in a high percentage shot, but you have to force the issue if you're the Dallas Mavericks offensively.
Avery Johnson calls timeout as Amari Stoudemire now with 17 points.
Hey, Mike, you can make this. Nash making a play, Amari all by himself. A beautiful thing to play with a point guard like Steve Nash.
Just a beautiful day in Phoenix, Arizona. No better place for an NBA fan than here at the U.S. Airways Center or watching on ABC as we look at our U.S. Marines game track.
Dallas Mavericks starting off on fire, 7 of 7, but three-point land, but since then have gone ice cold. You got Amari Stoudemire, high percentage plays, attacking the basket, also knocking down the jump shot, 17 points, and it all starts with Steve Nash, the two-time MVP guy, making the plays on the offensive end, 14 points, 5 assists, but his unselfish play been contagious.
You know, I've mentioned several times, obviously, that these are the two best teams in the NBA, but as we said at the top, San Antonio is only 2 games back of the Phoenix Suns, and they play each other in San Antonio on Thursday, that game on TNT. The Spurs, where do you think they stand in terms of winning a championship this year?
If I'm the Spurs watching any game at home, I'm insulted by someone saying that we're watching the 2 best teams and I'm not included as Stackhouse knocks down the jump shot, because the Spurs have to feel that they are more than capable of defeating either one of these teams. That doesn't mean that they will, but they are certainly in line and comparable to both of these teams on the floor right now.
So you're saying that I've insulted the Spurs organization?
If I'm Popovich, if I'm Duncan and Parker and Ginobili and those guys, I am upset with Mike Green.
And you look at the record, 52-20. They have been superb. They're always a second half team. Always play their best basketball down the stretch. Diao misses that one. Nowitzki the rebound.
Well, Mike, the good thing about the San Antonio Spurs, they're under the radar. Everybody talking about the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. So I think it's an ideal situation for them.
And of course, remember last year in the conference semifinals as Howard misses up for the foul. That won't go. Trial again. Puts it underneath. Beautiful second effort in play from Howard. But last year, that playoff series between the Spurs and the Mavs basically came down to 1 play in that 7-game thrilling series.
And that tells you how close both teams are. They get it done on the defensive end, have 2 home run hitters, inside-outside attack. They are complete teams, and both teams very dangerous.
Stoudemire, so dangerous. Count it, and a foul. Amari Stoudemire, 8 of 9 from the field.
Stoudemire doing a great job of reading the play opposite of him. Whether it be a spot-up jump shot or slashing to the hoop, he is putting pressure on the Mavericks defense, getting to a sweet spot, able to shoot over a smaller defender and take the contact.
Stoudemire has had 3 40-point games. He's had 2 20-rebound games. Just getting stronger and stronger. And he says, as he's come back from the knee surgery, that he feels he's still not 100%. He's getting close, but still has a few levels to climb.
I don't know. How could you be that good and not be 100%? It's really great to see him back though. And you see the difference, the adjustment coming out of the timeout. The Mavericks now post-up play for Stackhouse, high percentage lay-in from Howard, and then Jason Terry, a nice shot. So the offense now is picking up and they're looking to get paint touches.
5-point lead for Phoenix. And an offensive foul, Steve Nash. First, Nash. Mike D'Antoni and Bob Delaney having a nice Sunday afternoon chat.
And Mike D'Antoni trying to get his point guard some airspace. Say, hey, you're grabbing him, you're physical, which is the game plan, but he has a coach who's trying to establish something and say, get him off my guy.
He's still yelling over there. Alley-oop to Howard. And kicks it back out. Terry saves it nicely. Shot clock down to 6. Stackhouse. Boy, Stackhouse having a strong game. 17 points in 18 minutes.
Oh, he's a scorer, staring down the offense. And my goodness.
Did the shot clock even reset? Marion on a gorgeous pass. The 6th assist from Nash.
We got to talk to Steve Nash. He has to give us an extra second or two just to talk about the play that just happened, at least.
Unbelievable. Stackhouse again. Jerry Stackhouse from downtown. He's 9 for 12 from the field, and that's their 8th three-pointer.
And when Avery Johnson says take advantage of the small defenders, that's what he means. It's not about scoring over the small defenders. Make help come. That time Sean Marion comes to help Steve Nash, and the wide-open jump shot on the weak side.
Bell took his eye off it. Only the 6th turnover for Phoenix. And that's another thing about these two teams. With so many possessions, only 6 turnovers each. They're just so efficient.
Take care of the basketball. Both teams high percentage on both ends of the floor. And really, they put the basketball in the hands of their playmakers, and those are guys that can be trusted.
Marion on Nowitzki. Finding Terry, and Jason Terry knocks it down. Nice pass from Dirk Nowitzki for his 4th assist.
In this situation, you can use Dirk Nowitzki as a point guard. You put him in a position to make plays time and time again. The help comes, does an excellent job, much better than in his past, at reading the defense.
Nash gets hammered from behind. And a nice pass from Stoudemire. You see the big men even making some pretty passes.
We talk about it. I can't say it enough. It's contagious. When you are making plays, how could you, as Steve Nash, hit Amari Stoudemire all season long when he's open, and then when you're open, just by nature, you're forced to try to get this guy a shot because he's treating me so well.
You don't have to yell at me. Nash will go to the line, one of the best free throw shooters in the history of the game. Hearing the MVP chants. Again, he's not interested in that stuff as he knocks down the free throw. Our NBA calendar, NBA TV Tuesday. Pistons and the Pacers. Coverage begins 7 Eastern. TNT Thursday, terrific doubleheader. The Heat and the Cavs, followed by the Suns and the Spurs in a huge game. Then ABC next Sunday, also terrific doubleheader. There's the Cavs and the Pistons, followed by the Suns and the Lakers. Those two, of course, played in the playoffs last year. Cavs and the Pistons went to 7 games. The Suns and the Lakers went to 7 games. Jock. Stackhouse. There's Marion. This is a high percentage shot.
There's a lot of point guards in this league that would have got that loose ball and had other guys pointing, saying he's open down the floor. Steve Nash knew immediately, got rid of the basketball, and once again, an easy shot.
Suns up by 4. Seesaw battle. Going with the hot hand. Stockhouse back. Nowitzki for 3. Won't go. Rebound. Jock tips it out, but right to Nash. Nash looking, finding Stoudemire. Nice steal. Jason Terry saw it coming. 3-on-2 break for the Mavericks. Oh, what a steal from Barbosa. He read it perfectly.
How about the read from Barbosa? 3-on-2 fast break, able to get a hand in the passing lane and come up with the steal.
Bell, that's a 3. Raja Bell from downtown, and the Suns go up by 7.
I don't know how you feel, Mike, but this is the way that the game was meant to be played. I think Dr. Naismith was thinking about these two teams when he invented this game.
And a whistle. It doesn't get any more entertaining than these two teams, and they've had 2 of the 3 meetings so far have come right down to the wire. And let's take another look.
Jason Terry attacking the paint area. Stoudemire attempting for the shot block, and then a loose ball again, but staying alive, and Stoudemire hurts his arm as he attempts to block the shot.
The foul is on Bell. He's hurting a little bit. As Nowitzki will go to the free throw line. Dirk Nowitzki 4 for 4. And you look at these two teams, Mark, and they've had great regular seasons. But for both teams, anything shy of a title, and they'll tell you this, anything shy of a title is a very disappointing season.
So you're disappointed, no question about it. When you begin to reflect, though, down the road, you appreciate what you were able to accomplish as a basketball team. Certainly is all or nothing. And what is this guy wearing? He says, I want 2 championships.
It's a lovely hat. Here on April Fool's Day. It looked like on that last play that Jason Terry's knee hit him on the bicep. That's why he was shaken up. Well, he's still in the game. Barbosa, that's good. Leandro Barbosa from downtown, and an 8-point lead, equaling the largest game for the Phoenix Suns as Dallas calls timeout. Another standing ovation. Back in Phoenix, exactly 4 minutes remaining in the third. Suns up by 8. Amari Stoudemire having another terrific game, but he hurt himself just moments ago. Watch Jason Terry's right knee. Clipping Stoudemire in the arm. He stayed in the game, and they'll need him. He has been superb against Dallas, both in their last game, March 14th, when he had the 41, 8 of 9 today.
Talked to Coach Mike D'Antoni. He said, hey, we are an excellent team. We need him to be a great force in the middle, and certainly he is doing just that.
Stoudemire, right from high school to the NBA back in 2002. Only 24 years old. Amazing as Howard knocks down the shot. Boy, Howard playing a terrific game. 22.7 boards.
Once again, the play made by Nowitzki off the block. He is making exceptional decisions on the block for his team.
Oh, there he goes again. Nash and Marion. A perfect combination.
Man, what can you do? Defensively, what can you do? Because you're concentrating on Steve Nash, not allowing him to break down your defense. And before you know it, he is making a play for someone else.
And tried to make the defensive play down the other end, but Nowitzki got fouled.
You're respecting his ability to score and make plays, and all of a sudden the backdoor play, old-fashioned basketball, meet you at the rim, Marion with the finish.
All right, how hard is it to throw those alley-oops right on target?
I thought you were going to ask me how hard was it to catch it and finish. It's not hard at all. It's a really, Steve, it's a gift. That's the easy part. You want to have a guy that's able to catch and finish, but that's just a read, and it's a gift, and Steve Nash certainly has it.
Nash with 9 assists. Meanwhile, 2 more free throws for Dallas. The Mavericks are 15 for 15 from the line. They've already had 3 games this season where they were perfect from the line, including 1 game where they were 24 for 24. Again, they're the best free throw shooting team in the league. Stoudemire. 9 of 10 from the field.
Stoudemire was out. You can tell he's worked on his outside game. When he knocks down that jump shot, he's a handful right now. And Dirk Nowitzki, no choice but to give it to him, and he knocks it down.
Stackhouse looking to post up Barbosa. Nowitzki. Shot clock winding down. Howard the jump shot. And Nowitzki tracks down the offensive board.
And right now, Dirk Nowitzki wants the basketball. Instead, they go to the weak side with Stackhouse being defended by Barbosa.
Stackhouse can't hit that time. Here comes Nash. Nash to the basket. Back out. Raja Bell for 3. And a loose ball foul is going to go against Dallas. Jerry Stackhouse pushed off. And the Mavericks with their 4th team foul.
Mike, you look at that play that just was made. Steve Nash immediately walks over to Roger Bell and said, "My fault, you missed the shot. I threw the basketball away from the sweet spot. So I got you out of rhythm." How many point guards make that type of play and then own up and say, "My bad"? Instead of hitting them in rhythm, hits them off balance, and the push by Stackhouse on Marion as he attacks the offensive board.
Well, in talking to Mike D'Antoni, he says one of the things that's so impressive about Nash is after a loss, he'll come back in the locker room and he'll, instead of D'Antoni thinking about what to say, Nash will say, "You know what, guys, my fault. I blew that game. I take responsibility." He says he does that all the time as Barbosa goes inside. Nice move. Obviously, he doesn't have to do it very often. They don't lose a lot. But that's part of his leadership.
And it's really something that allows other guys to be motivated because he knows that he didn't make Roger Bell miss that shot, but he's playing a mind game, and that's something as a point guard, an extension of a coach on the floor, that you have to do.
Oh, Howard explodes to the basket. And Josh Howard with 24 to lead all scorers.
Josh Howard doing an excellent job of mixing it up from the perimeter and attacking the basket, but doing a great job of reading the defense.
Raja Bell. Barbosa struggling, double team, stripped. And a foul's going to go against Devin George, who can't believe the call. And they're in the penalty now. So free throws for Barbosa. And Howard a little shaken up. So quickly make sure no blood. He's going to the bench though as Buckner's come in. Another good game for Barbosa. He did start though. Let's take a look at that play again. Ooh, yep, they caught him. That one hurts. Let's go over to Michelle.
Hey guys, Leandro Barbosa grew up in Brazil, and his brother Arturo, 21 years his senior, taught him the game of basketball in a country where soccer really was king. Barbosa told me he fell in love with the game. His brother was able to teach Leandro things that his brother couldn't do physically, and now he says he still hears from his brother every single day. They talk about on the telephone. Brother from Brazil, Barbosa here, and he says he still gets mad at me for mistakes I make, and I have to listen to him. He's my older brother.
Well, he better. His brother was a sergeant paratrooper in the Brazilian army, 21 years older, as Terry knocks down the shot. And you're right, Michelle. Whenever he talks about why he's here in the NBA, that's the first thing he brings up, and his brother helped him so much learning. Barbosa, a more gifted athlete, knocks down the shot right on cue. Barbosa now with 19. Final minute, third quarter. This 10-point lead equals the largest of the game. Terry for three. That's good. Terry from downtown. Again, he was red hot throughout the month of March. He's 7 of 10 here today.
A good read, pick and roll basketball. They switch. Jason Terry, a scoring point guard, takes advantage of the switch.
Terry pushing it up the floor. Inside Buckner, back out Harris, two-pointer Harris. Nowitzki was man, I think he wanted the ball. Shot clock is turned off. And up on their feet again, the Suns fans. Barbosa to Stoudemire, falling away. Won't go, and that will end the third quarter. Steve Nash with 9 assists. Dirk Nowitzki with 15 points. Most important numbers right now, 89-82. The Suns with the 7-point lead. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Right now, don't you leave me at the post. Right now, you can feel it coast to coast. Right now, where they love this game the most.
The Larry O'Brien Trophy here in Phoenix outside the U.S. Airways Center. And both these teams, that's the goal. And we made fun of those so-called hats or eye gear before. Eyes on the prize, that's the theme for the Phoenix Suns this year. It's on the cover of their media guide. And again, nothing shy of a championship would make this the season for them. They want to win the title. Feel this is the year they can. And right now they've got a 7-point lead here as we start the fourth.
And what's so important when you are one of the best teams in basketball, you have an opportunity to be carrying that trophy at the end of the year. You have to take it.
DL had to show, throw it up with the shot clock winding down. Excellent defense from Dallas. And again, Dallas has become a terrific defensive team. Why is Phoenix shooting 58% from the field?
Well, they're so good offensively. They're a complete basketball team, and they really take what you give them offensively, do a great job of making the extra pass, and they put pressure on you. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, you have to look and say, hey, things haven't gone well, but we are in a position to get some stops and really get back into this ballgame.
Nowitzki puts it in. Nowitzki the other night, Friday night against the Knicks in Dallas, he struggled through the first 3 quarters. Then he had 17 in the fourth quarter. He's had a number of those games where he takes over in the fourth.
And if I'm Avery Johnson, I'm not concerned about Dirk Nowitzki. I'm concerned about defensively because Dirk is able to get a high percentage shot, a good look at any point.
Nice defense there. Nowitzki, not that time. Buckner poked that one away. DL has Jason Terry on him and wants the mismatch. Quick move. James Jones wide open. That's a 2. His foot was on the line. Nash getting his usual rest, and Howard still resting from that shot that he took.
But again, Mike forced the issue. Diaw on the block. Help has to come and does the extra pass, getting a guy a good look.
Diaw guarding Nowitzki. Tough shot. Puts it in.
Yeah, that's a tough shot for you or I. For Dirk Nowitzki, that's a good shot. Defense at bay is just him in the rim. It's nothing but the bottom of the net.
See, I always felt every shot I took was a good shot.
That's why you're here calling the game with me.
Diaw on the drive. That's a nice move from Boris Diaw.
And you like the mindset of Boris Diaw all afternoon long. He is putting the ball on the floor and making plays, whether it be for somebody else or a good look of his own.
Diaw 5 assists to go along with those 11 points. Devin Harris, an open jumper. Only his second field goal.
Good read from Jason Terry. The help is rotating to Dirk Nowitzki. He makes the skip pass to Harris, stepping into a jumper.
Again, Diaw, and an offensive foul call on Amari Stoudemire. 3 on Stoudemire.
And you look at the Dallas Mavericks, their mindset, they know it's a mismatch with Devin Harris, with Amari Stoudemire just battle underneath, fights for position. Stoudemire runs through him, gets the offensive foul, ready to help and rotate, but doing a great job of competing right now, the Mavericks are on the defensive end.
He briefly talked with Bob Delaney, but didn't argue. Stoudemire has to be careful. He has 14 technicals this year. That's second in the NBA behind Rasheed Wallace. And on the 16th, you get a 1-game suspension. And with San Antonio on their heels, they cannot afford to lose him, certainly.
And there's nothing to talk about. If you have Devin Harris guarding you, there's no sense in fighting. Get to a spot, demand the basketball, and then exploit the mismatch.
Harris back out. Devin George. 3-pointer won't go. And Marion comes flying in for his 7th rebound. 5-point game. Just over 3 minutes gone by here in the fourth. Nowitzki again on Nash on the switch. Nice entry pass, and Buckner hacks Diaw. Just a terrific lefty pass.
Good entry pass, good read by Buckner, understanding he was on his back, didn't want to give up the easy deuce, fouls immediately.
Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs right now trailing by 5. Nowitzki's had a lot of big fourth quarter heroics this year.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Silverman, and you're watching the NBA on ABC.
Home of the NBA Finals.
Just over 3 minutes gone by, fourth quarter in Phoenix. And the Suns a 5-point advantage over the Mavericks. Time for our Comcast storyline.
Steve Nash, this decision-making process, always aware of where Amari Stoudemire is on the floor. This is a setup. Finds Stoudemire, slash into the hoop. Next trip, once again, recognition. Pick and roll goes away from the screen. Stoudemire slashes to the hoop, forces the help, creates an open look. Bell knocks down another dagger three, but Steve Nash continuing to read the plays.
Stoudemire right now sitting down after just picking up a foul with 8:43 left. Nash looking for Diaw. And a foul call on Jason Terry. Only the second team foul. And again, we talked, the importance of this game means more to Phoenix because they're trying to hold off San Antonio. Because after this game, they'll go on a 4-game road trip, including playing the Spurs Thursday night in San Antonio. And it finishes in the game we'll have next week against the Los Angeles Lakers. So a big road trip coming up for Phoenix. Lakers, by the way, Mark, how about Jordan Farmar? He's going to play in a D-League game this afternoon and then play for the Lakers tonight.
Nice day for two.
Diaw throws it down. A lot of guys like to play 2 games in a day.
I like what the Phoenix Suns are doing right now, Mike. Finding the mismatch, getting the ball to Boris Diaw with a smaller Maverick defender and running their offense through him.
Terry, shot clock winding down. Nowitzki, back out. Terry, long three. Short, and Buckner, the rebound. He got held by Nash. That's the first team foul against Phoenix, second on Nash.
Smart play by Steve Nash. Didn't want to give up the second shot opportunity and an easy lay-in for Buckner, so he grabs him and commits the foul, the proper play.
Avery Johnson, you saw him. He was almost out by half court. He's shouting out instructions. And a foul's going to go against Diaw. Howard and Diaw got entangled. I don't think the crowd particularly agreed with that call.
A very intense game, playoff, getting after it on the defensive end, battling, not allowing a guy to get to a position, trying to deny, do the right thing, and then tries to sell a foul. No question about it. Foul on Diaw, and he is well aware of it.
Yeah, he was riding it, but he's still trying to tell Ed Malloy it was a bad call. Terry makes his move. Nowitzki, quick shot. Got knocked down, and Nowitzki is down. And it comes up hobbling. May have landed on his foot. Shot's good from Barbosa. He falls down. Now Nowitzki turned his left ankle in the Milwaukee game last week and had to leave the game. And it looked like he came down then. He looked at Bob Delaney, thought there should have been a foul. And that's the sight certainly the Mavericks do not want to see.
Dirk gets a good look, shooting.
Yep,
Sean
right.
Marion. That's not a foul. That's just a guy trying to contest the shot. And once again, Dirk lands on Sean Marion's foot.
Although some will say if the defensive player comes underneath like that, it should be a foul. Nowitzki certainly feels that way. Just under 7.5 remaining, fourth quarter in Phoenix, and the Suns have equaled their largest lead. Dirk Nowitzki shaken up on the last play. Let's take another look. Watch as Marion comes underneath. Now the definition of a field goal attempt, the field goal attempt doesn't end until the player comes down in normal floor position. So you have to let the player come down, whether it's a foot sliding underneath, and that's what Nowitzki felt was a foul, saying it to Bob Delaney.
You know, you certainly sound like you've been to a refereeing seminar before. Well, how about, if that's the case, then how about Barbosa knocks down the shot, Jerry Stackhouse, momentum carries him into Barbosa, so both teams would have a case according to your theory.
Absolutely. Terry gets inside, and he draws the foul. Because you have to let that player come down because it's a dangerous situation where you can roll your ankle. I'm not saying that Marion deliberately tried to put it in there, whether it's intentional or not. They had that early in the season. A couple of players were involved in those type of plays.
I think if you're the coach of the player taking the shot and lands, then you're excited about the call. But if you're not, you're upset. You have a case to be made about no contact on top.
Meanwhile, Terry misses a free throw, and that's their first miss of the afternoon after hitting 15 in a row. Best two free throw shooting teams in the league, the best two three-point shooting teams in the league. I don't want to say the best two teams in the league. You'll yell at me for insulting the Spurs again.
I won't, but I'm sure Greg Popovich will use you in the film section.
Oh, Barbosa! Gorgeous move along the baseline, and this is their largest lead.
And as the teams came out after the timeout, Steve Nash walked over to Barbosa and said something to him. I would imagine he wanted him to continue to be aggressive on the offensive end.
Sean Marion with the steal. Barbosa back from Marion. Flips it up and puts it in. Nowitzki watching after turning his ankle. It's a 13-point game.
You get the sense
crowd on its feet again, Mark.
And you get the sense that the Phoenix Suns realized coming out of the timeout that now was their time.
Terry can't get it to fall. Devin George the rebound. Stackhouse can't get the three. Barbosa tips it, but right to George. And the Mavericks say, let's reset. Inside, Stackhouse, count it, and a foul. And Stackhouse will go to the free throw line. And that's a big bucket with 6:06 remaining.
And Jerry Stackhouse, somebody has to stop the bleeding, stop the surge of the Phoenix Suns. Stackhouse gets into the paint, finishes, takes the contact, and going to the line for the possible three-point play.
22 points for Stackhouse off the bench. His previous best game this season, his best as a Maverick, also came against the Suns when he had 33 back in that March 14th double overtime game. Stackhouse's third year in Dallas completes the three-point play. And it's back to 10 as we're midway through the fourth.
I'm sure that Avery Johnson will use this game, win or lose, as motivation for his team. If you are going to win the whole thing, you have to get stops. You can't go into somebody else's building and allow them to shoot over 60% from the field.
Count it and a foul. Steve Nash drills it. And this crowd erupting here in the fourth quarter. Nowitzki will come back in.
This is just Steve Nash. Back up off me. Good look. That's just a beautiful look because you have to respect his ability to get into the paint area. You give him some airspace, lifts, and makes you pay the price. How good is Steve Nash?
Hits the free. It didn't look like there was a foul there. But regardless, they're back up by 13. Another terrific game for Nash. Howard makes his move inside. Floater won't go, but a foul. So Josh Howard to the free throw line.
Well, we are watching, Mike, there's a bunch of guys that have the ability to knock down shots and also put it on the floor and attack the rim area. When you do that, you basically put pressure on the defensive guy. If you're just one-dimensional, well, if you're just a driver, I'm going to back up off you. If you're just a shooter, I'm going to close out on you. These guys are able to do both.
Makes it so tough to defend as Howard hits the free throw. Avery Johnson was saying the other day, there are no showdowns in the regular season. There are only showdowns in the playoffs. And you get hyped up because it's such a great matchup. But the players, they're not playing like it's just another regular season game.
Well, I agree with Avery Johnson. At the same time, you're only dealing with what's going on right now. So this is a big game for everybody.
Stoudemire. 10 of 12 from the field. He's got 24. The Suns are shooting 63% from the field as Nash trying to fight over the screen. Picks up his third foul. Bob Delaney gives him a hand. So for Phoenix, they're in the penalty. That will certainly help Dallas.
Once again, making a play for somebody else. Marion find Stoudemire underneath all by. What can you do against this Phoenix Suns offense? I don't have an answer.
I don't think anybody really has been able to have an answer. Bell, meanwhile, picks up his fourth. And Avery Johnson and other coaches, Greg Popovich, will continue to figure out a way to try and stop the Phoenix Suns.
The problem with them is a perfect complement of players. You have shooters, you have scorers, you have finishers, and basically you have the ultimate decision-making guy running the point. So you have your hands full as a defense trying to stop them.
Well, a big part of stopping them is what you do in the offensive end by controlling the tempo, correct?
You want to control the tempo, but you don't want to slow it down. You still want to force the issue against this Phoenix Suns defense, but you want to make them pay the price. You don't want to bail them out by taking quick shots because it only starts their offense.
Marion gets inside, the floater. Oh, tough shot over Nowitzki.
Once you allow a team to establish a rhythm, you get guys high percentage shots. All of a sudden, they feel like anything they throw up is going in.
Terry, not that time. Nowitzki's foul on the rebound. The shot won't count, but he'll shoot free throws.
I've been knocking down good shots all afternoon long. This isn't a tough one. We're shooting over 60% from the field as a team. That's an easy look for me, says Sean Marion.
64% from the field. As a delay of game warning is called against Phoenix. They're 9 of 10 from the field in the fourth quarter.
And if you're Avery Johnson, you can look and say, hey, they were on fire as a team. No, that's not an excuse. You don't shoot 64% as a team, even if you're on the floor by yourself. That means that we didn't show up as a basketball team defensively if you're Avery Johnson.
He will be very angry when he looks at the tape, because defense obviously is so important. That's been the key for the Dallas Mavericks in the defensive mindset. Now they are without Eric Dampier, which certainly helps. But 5 Eric Dampiers would not help the way Phoenix shooting the ball.
No, it would not. If you're Coach Mike D'Antoni, you're thinking, this is exactly how I planned it. Offensively, we are as good as it gets, and we can outscore anyone.
Nash to the basket. Oh, great hesitation. Hung in the air a little bit. 21 points and 10 assists for Steve Nash.
I said to D'Antoni yesterday, are you concerned at all about defense? He says, no, we compete on the defensive end, but at the end of the day, you got to stop us offensively, and he is so right.
And Dallas not able to do that here this afternoon. They'll reset. Time on their side as we come up on 4 minutes remaining. Shot clock down to 3. Stoudemire sees it, puts it up, in and out. You just expect it to go in.
It's a shock. Even the crowd go, oh.
A 13-point advantage. And a timeout will be called. Mike D'Antoni wants to talk to his team. Yet another standing ovation for Steve Nash and the Suns.
Lulls you to sleep. All of a sudden, another blow by and another good look off of one leg. Blow by with the help defense contested, but you're not in the picture, says Nash.
John, thank you. ABC all night tonight, starting at 7, 6 Central. Brand new America's Funniest Home Videos, followed by Extreme Makeover Home Edition. And then at 9, 8 Central, all new Desperate Housewives. At 10, 9 Central, brand new episode of Brothers and Sisters right here tonight on ABC. Stackhouse left-handed flips it in. That's still battling, down 11 though, with 3.5 to play.
We're the Dallas Mavericks. You're going to be able to look at film and say, how do we beat them? Well, you're doing some good things offensively when you force the issue. That time, getting Jerry Stackhouse on the block. You can't surrender anything against this Suns defense.
Barbosa for 3. Their 10th three-pointer of the game. And a 14-point lead, the largest for Phoenix.
Avery Johnson sitting on the sideline with his hand on his face saying, what can I do? Once you allow them to get it going offensively, you can forget about it.
Nowitzki puts it up short. Rebound tip back to Nowitzki. Misses the layup and Bell the rebound. Nash. And Bell will bring it out.
I think the right thing, Avery Johnson takes a look at Dirk Nowitzki running down the floor, and it's time to get him out of the ball game. Hobbling on that sprained ankle. You don't want your superstar to get hurt anymore.
Marion to the basket, misses it, but fouled. And Marion will shoot 2. The Phoenix Suns are enjoying this.
Well, they're having fun at the expense of the Dallas Mavericks. They are having fun offensively, and it's a joy to watch.
All right, again, let's go back to what we said at the top. For Phoenix, this is a much more important game because they've got San Antonio on their heels in a battle for who would have home court in the playoffs if those two teams meet. It's pretty much guaranteed, although they haven't clinched it yet. Dallas is going to have the best record. There's Nowitzki now Probably done for the afternoon, or maybe not.
Oh, they're going to wait for him to shoot the second shot.
But, so Phoenix, it's a much more important game. Games like this in the regular season, for Phoenix now, if they hold on and win, to beat the Mavs 2 in a row, that March 14th game and here this afternoon, does that have any effect confidence-wise on either side?
Not at all. When you're the Dallas Mavericks, when you have the type of record that you have, when you put a stamp and really ran through this league all season long, you're not concerned about any individual team. It's all about what you did right or what you did wrong. So it's up to them to get it right so that if they face the Phoenix Suns down the road, how do they beat them and how do they overcome this high-powered offense?
Dallas again. They came in with a 9-game winning streak. Last time these two teams played, Dallas had won 23 in a row at home. That was snapped as Terry misses. Bell tracks down the rebound.
The problem is when you allow them to get a cushion, now you're trying to take wild shots to get back into the ball game, so you're only digging yourself an even bigger hole.
Nash to the basket is fouled. Harris does a good job holding on. Good sportsmanship. And Steve Nash will go to the free throw line and most likely here MVP chance again. Here we go.
I feel so much better because Devin Harris is an exceptional defensive point guard. And I can remember playing against Steve Nash when I was playing in Toronto, and he shot 11 for 11 from the field. I thought I was a horrible defensive player. Devin Harris is making me feel so much better this afternoon about myself.
Well, I'm glad. It's important your self-esteem is on the rise as you see Nash to the line. One of the best in the history of the game. Career-wise, only Mark Price and Rick Barry.
And not only is he amongst the greatest free throw shooters ever played a game, he is in line to be one of the greatest players. He is chasing history, Mike.
It's amazing where he's come. Was always a good, solid player, but now is a player that you have to start talking about in the Hall of Fame, perhaps the 3rd straight MVP. But he did give up those MVPs for one NBA championship. Knocks it away in the steal, throws it ahead to Stoudemire. Stoudemire got a little bit ahead of himself.
And he's laughing, running down the floor. Steve Nash is like, I need those assists, man. Help me out.
Nash will hear the roar from the crowd. 23 points and 11 assists. The fans love their point guard. Under 2 minutes to go. And again, in this game, the Suns will end Dallas's 9-game winning streak. Barea misses. Jose Barea is the bench empty for Dallas. More importantly for Phoenix right now, they'll go 2.5 ahead of the Spurs in that battle for the second-best record. Spurs playing the Pacers in Indianapolis tonight.
You get teams in this league trying to find, as the foul is committed, Barbosa going to go to the line. You get teams trying to find the next Steve Nash. It's not going to happen. If you have a guy that can score as well as Steve Nash, his mentality is not to make plays. As you take a look at Mark Cuban, upset about this loss, but his mentality is not to make plays for somebody else. When you can score as good as Steve Nash, the guy is the most complete package on the offensive end that we have seen as far as a point guard is concerned in the history of this game.
And every year, that statement gets easier to make. Again, he's 33 years old. He's playing his best ball now. Stoudemire, he's the latest to receive an ovation. As Nash resting. But he says the reason he gets better is just because of this desire to improve and work hard and stay in great shape. His mental approach to the game is really his strength. He says he just loves to train and loves to keep himself in great shape.
And it's a good thing, the disease of greed, wanting more, never being satisfied, the first in the gym, the last to leave. That attitude, once again, just like the unselfish play, is contagious, and it only makes you even better than you could ever dream of becoming.
Final minute as the Suns will even the season series, but as you said, Mark, season series means absolutely nothing if they beat the playoffs. James Jones hits a three-pointer. 11 of 20 from downtown. Just amazing three-point shooting. And such an impressive victory. Buckner throws in his second consecutive bucket. We said it at the very top. A playoff series between these two in the upcoming postseason would be so special to watch.
I'm going to purchase my tickets right now.
Barbosa has been superb. That's a three. There's the exclamation point. 65% from the field, the highest field goal percentage for any team in the NBA this year. And they do it against a terrific defensive team. The Phoenix Suns, an impressive victory as they blow out the Mavericks here in the fourth quarter. What a performance from the Suns. Final score, 126-104. Phoenix passes last year's win total as they improve to 55-18. The Mavericks now 61-12. We'll be back with a final word after this.
Right now, it's time to set the pace. Right now, gonna square off face to face.